Hey everyone, it's Jax again from the Popcorn Review Podcast, and today is going to be Monday Night Raw recap 512. This week's episode pretty much started showing a recap of what happened last week during the main event. Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso helped him retain with Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn, even though he was disqualified. Champion gets that little one over when it's a disqualification. So Jey Uso did win that out. CM Punk pretty much opens up the night looking pissed, coming to the ring, talking about Paul Heyman. The funniest thing that I can remember that sticks out into my head is that he calls Paul Heyman a little fat snake. So that's pretty funny. If everyone's been talking about Paul Heyman's glowing face, um, his rub on tan or whatever you want to call it, self tanner. This week, I guess it finally got to him that he's got to cut it out or stop doing it because he came back in looking normal when he used to be with the Bloodline. So Paul Heyman is no longer orange. Paul Heyman is his regular skin tone, but we'll go from there. Um, you know, CM Punk is just talking pretty much junk about Seth Rollins, calling Seth Rollins the Timu version of CM Punk. And then again, you have, ladies and gentlemen, this is Paul Heyman, and then Paul Heyman kind of comes to the ring, starts getting booed. You do have, again, Seth Rollins dressing like a pimp, wearing like an alligator or crocodile leather jacket and pants, boots as well, or shoes with Braun Breaker. And he pretty much tells Braun, after, Punk is talking, pretty much tells Braun, like, hey, go do what you got to do. Go take care of him. The two of them do start beating down on CM Punk. For a little while, Sami Zayn gets in there. They start getting it better, and then again, they start knocking him down. So Sami Zayn and Punk are getting beat down by Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. Jey Uso comes through the crowd, helps him out. The three of them are standing strong. You got Jey, Punk, and you got Sami Zayn standing strong in the ring, facing off against the other ones. Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, and Paul Heyman. Pretty much, it was just an aftermath, like I mentioned, of what happened the week before. Little later though, you do have kind of like Seth Punk kind of being like the little devil on his shoulder for Braun Breaker, like, hey, go do what you got to do, go have fun, and pretty much he tells Braun Breaker to do what he got to do to make sure he takes people out. And later on, he does exactly that. He takes out, I think he spears or just attacks Jey some later on in the night. And then it was announced that you're going to have Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn and CM Punk at Saturday night main event. So that's also going to happen. Actually, kind of excited for that. Showing Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins together as a tag team, going to be kind of nice to see. So we'll see how it plays out. Honestly, guys, we do have a few things that continue to happen throughout the night. You had again Penta looking nice and blue coming to the ring. I got to say that Penta's ring gear and Penta's entrance is probably one of the best ones they have right now in WWE. The only one that could top that might be Ray when he used to jump out with the catapult out onto the stage. But other than that, Penta's entrance right now is one of the best ones. So glad to see it every week. Decent match between the two. That Penta was trying to get his get back on Chad, if anything, even though Chad was wearing a mask and he swears to God that it's not him. They're saying that Grande Americano was actually in Mexico doing a tour like Rhea Ripley was doing the week before. Really? Really? They wear the same damn gear. The only difference is that he put frillies on his boots and on his knees and wears a mask. Like, I know this is a joke, but again, WWE, you could have did so much better with this name, with the gear, something. Y'all could have did something completely different. We all know it's Chad. I'm over it. Hopefully everybody else is over. I know a lot of people actually like this gimmick. I'm actually over it. I think it's gonna be Ray's gonna unmask him again, like I mentioned. But it is what it is. Again, Penta takes that one, super kicks the hell out of Chad, and then a Mexican destroyer, and he just spiked Chad in the center of the ring. Hopefully they check on Chad because it looked like it did some damage. So again, Mexican Destroyer off the top rope, spiked them, took the win there. Penta wins. Uh, you did have a Becky Lynch segment, pretty much coming to the ring saying that she wasn't beaten, even though she lost the match. That she wasn't beaten. She's the one that went to her bus, and that Lyra's the one who ended up having to spend the night in the hospital to be checked on because of her nose. But Becky Lynch pretty much just goes on and kind of doing like a John Cena type thing, blaming the fans why she took so much time away from them, why she took so much time away from the business. She blaming the fans for everything. She goes, but you know what? If you guys want to call me cutthroat, if you guys want to call me greedy, if you guys want to call me selfish, she goes, I am selfish, I am greedy, and I am cutthroat. So exactly what you guys say that I am, I'll own it, and we're gonna do it from now on. She's pretty much putting the entire women's locker room on Raw on notice. Becky does pretty good promos when she's a heel. Um, we'll see how it plays out. Don't know if she's going to continue to try to wrestle Lyra for the IC title. I thought it was going to be more behind this, a little bit dragged on of a story, but it doesn't seem that way. So again, we'll see how it goes. I did mention last week that Tozawa kind of like went to Rusev, was like, "Come on," and ripped his shirt off when he was fighting Otis there. So Tozawa actually wants to challenge Rusev to a match. Adam Pearce like, I don't know if you're ready for that. He was like, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but I don't know if you're ready. And then Sheamus kind of comes over. He was like, hey, nah, man, you're gonna do great. Once you're cleared, man, do what you got to do. Take the man out. And then Sheamus goes, hey, but I got an idea for you. Let me wrestle Waller next week. So he's gonna have a match against Waller. Pretty much, he's gonna beat up the entire A Town Down Under, whatever you want to call them. And this time, you're probably going to see Theory kind of like laughing at Waller this time, like, hey, you did this to me last week. You got to go with this week. So we'll see how it plays out. I guess they're just building Sheamus back up. Don't know who Sheamus is going to feud with in the future, but they're building him up for sure. We'll see how it goes. I like Sheamus as a heel or as a face. Either way, I'm excited to see Sheamus back. Again, don't know where they're going to put Sheamus on the card. Sheamus has been a world champion. He's also been a mid card champion, also been a tag team champion. So really, Sheamus can be put anywhere and still be successful. So we'll see how it plays out, guys. Um, you did have a segment there or a match with the War Raiders versus the American Made. Um, New Day on commentary. Looks like Xavier Woods actually has some of that self tanner on because he don't look himself. Okay, he looks orange too. Not sure what these guys are doing in the back before they come out here. I don't know if they're just like grabbing pounds of tanning lotion and just throwing it on their face and on their chest, because they come out with the front side of their body orange and their hands orange and everything else is their normal skin tone. So not sure whose good idea is that, but it looks horrible. AEW does the same thing for a while. Adam Cole did the same thing. Um, Chris Statlander did the same thing. Stop tanning yourselves. It doesn't look natural. It looks disgusting. So that's my rant on that. But you did have again War Raiders and American Made had a good match. The Creed brothers, they actually look good to me. Don't know when they're going to get pushed for the tag team titles. This could be it. Um, with the help of the New Day, they ended up beating the War Raiders. They kind of made the War Raiders look as if they're kind of like falling apart. Don't know if they're going to break them up. It does happen to tag teams after a while. They kind of split them up. Same thing happened with, Otis with Heavy Machinery, Shawn Michaels way back when. So it does happen. They break up the tag team. So not sure how far that's going to go. Um, but again, War Raiders lost that one. Pretty much the New Day didn't want to face the War Raiders. Looks like they're going to try to face American Made. But those guys look actually good in the ring. Don't know if W is going to push them this fast for the tag team titles, but we'll see how it plays out. The New Day I knew they were going to win the championships, but I didn't not a fan of it right now. So we'll see who they end up facing in the future. You did have, you had Finn and AJ had a match there. What I don't know if anybody noticed, this is the second time now that Finn Balor is not wearing the Judgment Day colors. Yes, his shoes do have purple in it, but if you notice during WrestleMania, the IC Championship match, and tonight, he's not wearing purple and black. He's wearing like black and highlighter yellow. Even his entrance says Finn Balor, but it's in gray and blue. So definitely Finn is starting to taper himself away, slowly but surely. Like I mentioned, even if he starts his own faction, kind of like the Wolfpack and NWO, they had two versions of the NWO. It could happen Judgment Day and the new version of the Judgment Day. But Finn is definitely changing his colors. Like I did mention, he had a segment or had a little vision of him and Roxana the week prior. So maybe he's going to build his own team. Maybe Liv Morgan is pretending she's off on doing the movie and she's recruiting people, but we'll see how it plays out. Finn Balor will either help kick Dom out or they're going to kick Finn out. Again, Finn doesn't need the stable behind him. I think he's a great guy, a great wrestler without them. So we'll see how it plays. Um, that match went pretty great. They do have great chemistry, AJ Styles and Finn Balor. Again, great chemistry. They were doing great moves to each other's. Um, again, Judgment Day always tries to help out without Dom. Commentary kept saying, "Dom, where's Dom at? Where's Dom at?" You did notice that Dom was a little upset that Finn took a long time with the chair to try to help out during the last match against Penta, but he did bring that up. But Dom didn't come out, neither did Raquel. So there's definitely some tension with the Judgment Day. I still say JD might change or flip on Finn and stay with the Judgment Day, even though that he was brought in there by Finn Balor. Um, all in all, decent match between these two. AJ Styles throws on good matches. Finn Balor throws on good matches. This is just showing the separation of the Judgment Day little by little. Um, AJ Styles again wins this one out. The Judgment Day get into it. Penta did help AJ Styles. He kind of took out Carlito and JD on the outside. So this way AJ was able to just focus on Finn Balor. So he kind of helped him out on that way. Even though, AJ did it himself, he did have some assistance from Penta. So Penta's, getting some alliances because he's going to need them. He's going to be facing the entire Judgment Day and American Made. So really there's like 8 to 10 people versus one. So he's got to build up some type of army or alliances himself. Um, after that match, though, you did have Karrion Kross talking to the New Day, kind of showing off his Puppet Master shirt. Karrion Kross is getting a little nods in here and there, especially at that crazy promo he threw out the other day. Um, not sure where they're going to put him at. Be nice to see Karrion Kross get in there and maybe right now, he might be going after the IC title, if anything. Maybe he's the one that takes it off of Dom, or they push Karrion to go against Jay. Jay doesn't have anyone to wrestle. Um, Yeah, he's got to fight Logan Paul later on, but we'll see. I mean, put him against Jay, even if he doesn't win. Show that you're willing to push Karrion Kross, and then go from there. You did have Jay Uso comes to the ring, celebrating. He definitely made that one fan, made their night. That one little kid he put on his shoulders, and he was eating with little kids. So, especially from my experience, I've never sat down by ringside. I've always been a little bit higher when I go. Having a wrestler come out. He actually came out of the middle of the aisle and then went up and then came back down. So he's showing different people that he's happy that they're there for him. It's not just that he's there. I think this is the second time he's grabbed a little kid and kind of yeeted with him and kind of celebrated in the stands. So it's nice to see that they're not like most guys will just shake hands or hug people that are around the ring. Jay's doing it from guys who are in the nosebleeds or higher up, from the ring. So that's actually nice to see. Again, he definitely made that kid's night. Um, Jay did his play it back again when he's in the ring. They ended up playing the music again, and Jay just starts talking, and then boom, Gunther's music hits. Gunther comes to the ring and pretty much says that he wants to run it back with Jay, and pretty much tells Jay that you ain't worth it, that you beat me, it was kind of a fluke, and Jay, snaps on him. He just snaps on him and pretty much says, "Hey, don't worry about this." He goes, "First, I'm gonna take care of the YouTuber, and then second, you and I are gonna run this back." So, Gunther did say that he wants to wrestle him. I think it's for Money in the Bank, but we'll see how it goes. As of right now, he has Logan Paul at Saturday Night Main Event, and then again, I think it's gonna be whoever wins out of those two, which I assume is gonna be Jay, is gonna wrestle Gunther at Money in the Bank. So that's pretty much Jay's next two opponents is going to be Logan Paul. He should win that one. And then he's going to go against Gunther. I see him winning that against Gunther too. Um, I think I mentioned it, but again, Braun Breaker ends up attacking Jay later on after this segment. He actually gets him in the back and attacks him. So, they are trying to weaken Jay before he gets back to Seth Rollins. We'll see how that plays out, guys. They're literally setting the dogs out on Jay Uso there. So Jay's got a lot of people. Like he said, he got a big target on his back. And we'll see what happens, guys. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Julia versus Roxana Perez. In all, this was a good main event. Julia and Roxana looked like they were working well together. Not sure if the intention is to keep them tag team partners long term. We'll see. They used to have NXT tag team champions and they kind of merged the two together. So there's less opportunities again for the women. Um, at some point, I feel like they should do something serious with the tag team division and don't just squash a lot of your women wrestlers. That would, if they keep those two girls together, they should at least go for the tag team, or they go for the tag team split up, and then from there they go their separate ways. But again, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, look strong as well. They even high fived each other during the match. Rhea at first didn't want to, and she was like, "All right, all right," and then high fives her. And all a good match showed all four of the women strong. Like I mentioned, the week before it was Io versus Roxana. Showed the present and the future. So again, this match showed the present champion and an ex champion versus the future of WWE's women division. Roxana Perez and Julia. So it was nice to see that again. Current, future. It's just nice to see all around good match. Yes, this week the NXT girls, up and coming NXT girls lost, but again, great match. Um, you did see at the end, Io and Rhea kind of like raised their hands, and they were both had their hand on the title. And Rhea kind of looks at the title and looks at her, looks at the title back, and kind of like gazing at the title, like she like, yeah, I helped you, but I still want that. So that match is gonna happen down the road. They did kind of piece it up. Io at first was like, hey, what's going on? I thought we were cool, and then she was like, yeah, we're cool. But again, her eyes are focused on the title, so she's pretty much telling her that we're cool, but I'm coming for my championship. So just be warned, I'm coming for it. And all, guys, great episode of Raw. Um, I think they did announce again Jay versus Logan Paul at main event, Saturday night main event, and then again Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn and CM Punk. Should be two great matches. I'm pretty sure they're going to bring some more matches throughout the week and announce for it. But in all, guys, great episode of Raw. Hope you guys liked my recap, and thanks for watching, guys. Have a great one.